wanted to share a tool that I started using recently. And if you're doing any prospecting or lead sourcing from LinkedIn, it's definitely worth checking out. The tool is called Surf, and it's spelled S-U-R-F-E. It's a Chrome extension that allows you to add contacts to your CRM directly from LinkedIn. I use it to add contacts quickly, follow my deals, keep track of my notes, and it's actually saved me a bunch of time. The data is always 100% accurate because I don't have to copy and paste each detail from each contact over to my CRM. Instead, Surf does it all for me automatically with just one click. Now, the folks over at Surf have been kind enough to put together a promo offer for fans of SSP. You can go to the link in the show notes and use the promo code JWSURF with an E 5 for a 5% discount on your first year. Check out the link in the show notes and go check them out. What's up, guys? It's Jesse here with another SaaS selling tip for you. Something that I've been putting into practice here, and I had a very real reminder of this week when I was talking to a customer of mine who was walking me through. It's funny, I had this call with him because I wanted to pick his brain on why he chose us over another vendor. I knew during the deal cycle he was looking at one of our competitors, and I ultimately ended up winning the deal. It's a really, really great account and logo. I've built a lot of really great rapport with his contact, and I'm just generally enjoying working with him. And I reached out to him. We were just checking in on the kickoff and implementation. They're working through rolling out our solution. And I had gotten on the phone with him just to chat a bit about how that was going. And then the conversation kind of turned to, hey, why did you end up going with us as opposed to the other provider out there? And if any specifics, any feedback, good or bad, on both sides, is there anything that I could have done better in the sales cycle? What did the other vendor do well that could have cost me the opportunity in the deal? And it was really interesting hearing from him. One of the things that he mentioned, and this is a tactic that I've used in the past, and again, this was a nice gentle reminder to implement and deploy this tactic again, was he said, the other provider came on our radar or landed in our lap because someone on their team cold called our CFO. And the CFO was interested in hearing what he had to say, and ultimately passed the conversation down to us on the other operational side of the business. So it was interesting because I've done that before in the past, and I don't think a lot of reps think to do this, especially if you're not selling a solution that's in the finance space. I suppose if you're working on a product that does sell to finance and CFOs and contacts there, you're probably doing this all day, every day anyway. But a lot of times reps that are selling to the sales org, marketing, operations, contact center, support, even engineering and development, they don't think to reach out to the CFO or the vice president of finance because it seems like it wouldn't be someone that would be that your message would resonate with. So they just kind of go unnoticed, not reached out to. And so here's the play, and this is right from my personal playbook. I've had a lot of success with this tactic before, and I'm going to start amping this up now in the next couple of weeks to see if I can build some additional pipeline. The play is actually to get on the phone with these CFOs. It's not to email them. It's not necessarily to use LinkedIn, although you can. Sure, you could also do some other prospecting tactics. There's a lot of flashy stuff out there right now with videos, and you can get Snoop Dogg to talk to the CFO or something. But I don't know that for CFOs that would be as effective. Prove me wrong. I don't know anything. I'm just passing on what's worked for me in the past. But what I've found to be really effective is just pick up the phone and call the CFO of the company. What happens is the CFOs don't get a lot of love from the prospecting standpoint. You don't have a lot of SDRs cold calling CFOs because I think they get a little overwhelmed with how do I boil down what I can do in a way that the CFO gets it. And the key is you need to sell any sort of economic benefit that your product has over a competitor. And you need to also package up your offering and your value in a way that would make sense to a CFO. And if you don't know what that means or how to do that, it's probably worth doing a little bit of research on what a CFO's day-to-day looks like. What is a typical week? What are objectives and MBOs and KPIs for a CFO? And the better you can understand that, spend a few minutes working backwards and saying, okay, so how would our solution benefit a CFO? What about it might make a CFO's job easier? What could be an area where we'd either cut costs, make room for more budget, or deliver so much ROI that everything just makes sense. So do that exercise for yourself. Go and research what the day-to-day of a CFO looks like. Try to, work backwards with your solution and your value and work that into how it might benefit a finance team or a CFO team, and approach it with the angle that you want the CFO to, for example, if you're selling to VPs of sales, you want the CFO to send an email over to the VP of sales and say, hey, this person just reached out to me and it seems like they've got a, cost-effective solution that's scalable that might solve X problem that was brought to my attention. Take a look at it. So pick up the phone and call these CFOs. They're not getting a lot of calls. They generally don't get a lot of outreach through other channels, but phone seems to be pretty effective. If you think that people are calling a CFO at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, they're probably not. So it's a really clear kind of greenfield opportunity for you if you are calling into executives. And what I'm finding out and what I'm hearing from other customers and prospects is this is a pretty effective tactic for getting in front of the right people, because the CFO, of course, has a lot of influence in an organization's decision making. So if you can get the buy-in from the CFO, I don't want to call it half the battle, but that's a good amount of the battle. If you've got the finance team on board with what you're selling, it just makes it that much easier to get buy-in from IT, and then, essentially earn the vendor of choice from your main contact. So that's my advice. Find a list of all of the, build a list of your CFOs for your prospecting accounts. Go and learn a little bit about what the day-to-day looks like for a CFO. Work backwards. Look at what your solution could do from a cost perspective, from an operational efficiency perspective. What's in it for this CFO? And then go pick up the phone and call them on a random Tuesday or Wednesday morning. I guarantee they're not necessarily on calls with anybody else. They're not getting a lot of prospecting calls. They may be in a lot of meetings as part of their role, but I think you'd find that they're pretty responsive to cold calls, and you might find success this way. And if you can get the CFO on board with what you're selling and have them push this down to your main contact or into other parts of the organization, then you're already halfway there. So that's it. Hope you guys have a great week, and thanks for listening. I've got a secret weapon for you that's going to skyrocket your sales without the unnecessary headaches that come along with using one of the big player CRM systems. That secret weapon is Close CRM. Now, let's face it. We've all been there. We've used a clunky, confusing system that kind of makes you want to throw your laptop out the window. Well, fear not. Close is here to save your time, money, and sanity. Close has all of the powerful sales tools you need, minus the drama, to manage your leads, track your deals, and crush your targets effortlessly. It has calling, emailing, SMS, multi-channel sequences, and it even has meeting tracking built right in. It's easy to set up and implement. You can stop screwing around with CRMs that aren't built for you and start selling and managing customers today. You can start a free trial using the link in the show notes, special for SSP fans.